What's up? We
Morning.
are back
Mo-
with
I
episode
forget it's
number.
morning. It is morning, isn't it?
Not here.
Yeah, it's 8 minutes past 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning.
Oh my!
Oh, good. It's it's 4 o'clock p.m. here. So
Okay, so
right on.
we're
Anyhow,
real
we're back
time.
with episode number 271, and we have 3 special guests. You might recognize the one up in the top corner there. That's old Metal Rob back with us for a little while, anyhow. And then below down there we have. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, Richo from STONETRIP. How you doing?
Simon Croft from STONETRIP. Good morning.
What's up?
Good afternoon.
We got some people checking in. What's up? I ain't no poser. Heavy
That's
metal
so funny
overkill.
'cause he is. But anyway,
And Tony Clem
Lying.
and Tim Eaton. Lots of people checking in, people coming in right now, so that's good. But before we get into the show, we're gonna be talking to the STONETRIP guys. What's going on with them? They put out a new album not that long ago. Damien Hair Metal, what's going on? Shannon Fry from the Mighty Avenger of Blood checking in. So before we get into those, we'll get some business done real quick. We're going to try and keep the show to 45 minutes today, so a little shorter than normal. But quickly, if anybody, Steve, you got any shout outs or anything you need to say?
For me.
Rob?
Nope, let's do this.
John, let's get into John. First of all, we got to do John.
pick of the week.
Pick of the
Okay.
week.
I'll go real fast. I've been on a yes bender lately, so that's why I'm going to show this record instead. This is Starcastle Citadel. This is their third one, and I think the first two are great, but they hit their stride with the third one. It's mandatory for any collection, and I found a good clean copy on Epic from 1977. Love it. If you love Yes, you'll love Starcastle even more. And I just heard about this one on the. Not that I didn't know about it before. In fact, the poser himself, Fraser Dawson, will recognize this. But this is one of the 3 bands that have less than 250 followers on Spotify that should be heard. This is Oath of Cruelty. If you don't have this, you're then you are a poser. This thing is a massive, massive ripper. If you love old Sodom and more of a punk, kind of the punk era of Sodom, you'll really, really dig Oath of Cruelty. Dave Aureliak is also the guitarist in PLF, which is Pulverizing Lethal Force, Pretty Little Flowers, whatever your nomenclature. He's a great guy, great guitarist, and this thing is a must-have for any metal collector. So, Oath of Cruelty and Starcastle Citadel are my picks of the week.
Nice.
Now we can get down to real business, because I was going to say I just renovated my record room again because I did a big record pull, and I have that first STONETRIP record in there, and I just keep playing it and playing it and playing it. Sonically, it sounds brilliant. It's a perfect CD to test any system in my house, and I can't get it out of my player. I just keep playing it over and over again. And I'm not saying that just because you're here. I'm saying it because it's true.
Yep, awesome. I can vouch for him. He was very excited when he heard you guys were coming on. So
glad to be here.
Right on. That's all I got.
Right on. Well, let's get into it then. So STONETRIP, you guys are from Australia. Give us
George in the morning.
Yeah, George G's a Room with Rockets checking in. What's up, George G? Cool. So let's get into it. Go ahead, John. We'll let you take charge. Run it.
Well, I just I see that you released another single, and that's obviously going to lead to another record, right? So I'll just let you take the ball and run with it.
Yeah. Hi everyone. By the way,
Good morning.
Good to be here. Yeah, we just released Fame. It's a cracking tune. It's the first one that we co-wrote with Simon in the band. So, and the natural progression of the writing was just unbelievable how it happened. So, we thought it was a great idea to release that as our first single, or not our first single, our third single off the upcoming album that's coming out hopefully soon. But yeah, it just worked. It was a great introduction for Simon into the band. The song works really well live, and we were actually rehearsing last night, so to run through 3 or 4 new songs that we're going to get in the studio. I think next week at the same place at Light Hill where we recorded the first record, because it's hard to go back from the top. So yeah, they're coming along really nicely. So we're going to start road testing now on a few live shows we've got coming up, and hopefully get in the studio. I think it's July 6th, 8th we go in to start the process, and hopefully we can knock over the second album come the end of September maybe for a release, and yeah, see what happens. Maybe we can get over there and come and sleep on your couch.
Right on.
Come on over. Hey, so are you still on Golden Robot? Are they still helping you guys out?
Yeah, man, they're killing it. They're just so good for us. The Fame, the release of Fame was probably the biggest impact that we've had so far. So it's gone. It's going really well for us. All our numbers are up, so that's really good. Golden Robot are great. We provide them a product, hopefully most of the time a polished product that they don't have to do too much with. So we just deliver our assets and we do our bit, and we don't ask for anything except their support, and they do that very, very well around the world for us. So it's really
I
good.
can vouch for that, because anytime I reach out to Kim over there, a package shows up at the house with 7 inches and singles and, you know, all kinds of goodies that we give away at the 128 dB remotes, and it goes over great. So people are listening over here for sure. And thanks to Kim for always sending us goodies.
Yeah, she does some good work, the girl. She keeps us in gear. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So if we're not rehearsing new material, it's you know, we're out. We're playing live. Done some really good live shows down in Melbourne the last sort of month or so at a couple of iconic venues that we managed to put a few people into, and turned it into a really high end night. So it's all going really, really well.
Right on. We've got a lot of new people watching these days, since I think you guys were on, gosh, it had to be more than a year ago now, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you tell everybody just a little bit like about the band, like, because I mean, we all know who you are and have your CDs and stuff at our house, but they may not. So tell everybody a little bit about the music and the style and that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So look, it's just pure rock and roll. It's something that Mick Belusa, my fellow comrade and other guitarist in STONETRIP, just started recording some demos and went back and had a bit of a listen to them after that, and we thought, geez, these are not too bad. So we took the plunge and made a commitment to each other to try and knock out some of the best music we could and record it and see where the beast takes us. So from a music point of view, that it's just feels melody, rock riffs, sweet melody. It's a bizarre combination how we get the results that we get, but if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right? So we kind of just roll with what we do. Every song's different. I think that's one of the good things about STONETRIP for people looking into that sort of stuff. It's pure based rock and roll, but we go different places and do a few different things. And if the melody's sweet and we can put a rock riff to it, it's happening. The some of the new stuff we're doing is just like we rehearsed some of it last night, and we were like, it's what is this? I don't know what it is, but it's mad. So let's keep playing it. So yeah, and the process continues. Look, it's been so good to have Simon on board. Simon's an unbelievably accomplished guitarist who's just taken us to the next level. So we're where we want to be now musically. Now it's just a matter of just keep pumping out awesome tunes and go play and try to go get around the world so people can see us. So yeah.
I've got 2 quick things, if you don't mind me jumping in here.
Go ahead, whenever you want.
I've been on the show a long time. I don't want to take it over, but I got 2 things. First of all, I'm confused on the time difference. I thought it was a little after 8 o'clock in the morning, but you're up in the middle of the night to talk to our dumbasses.
Well, that's what meet Simon. Because Simon thought it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and he was
I said it's 12 minutes past 8 a.m.
Oh, I thought you said 2 a.m.
No, I said
Yeah,
2
8
minutes
a.m.
past
2
8.
a.m.
No.
Yeah, well,
eight,
you know,
12.
commitment,
Okay, I
mate.
feel a lot better about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how did you guys get, Simon? How did you get connected with the band, or the band with you? Did you guys know each other forever, or how did that all come about?
Yeah. Richo and I had been in a cover band, a few years ago, and we kept in touch. And then I was touring overseas actually with the Queen musical, and when the Sideways clip came out, I thought, they're doing a good job, and I shared that. And there wasn't any intention by me to kind of shoehorn my way into the band. I thought, they're just getting on with it. Then, long story short, there was COVID. There was a couple of members, they were having, not to put a finer point on it, but just some issues presenting all of the stuff live. So we've got it to the point now where we can play all of the songs off the album, present them live. And, and all those guys that came before me are good guys and great players, but it's just, I suppose, like a team, you need that chemistry to kind of get it up and going. And we're basically on the same page. And with two guitar players in a band, you think, a lot of the times you go, they're kind of, there's always a bit of niggling in my experience. But with this, it's just like, well, I'll do this, you do this. And 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, Mick and I can make it work. Because it's about the song first and the band first, the song, all of that's priority. And there's, a good working ethic in place. I think that's important, just to kind of keep the material as the priority, and present the strongest material we can come up with. Not because we want to do 10-minute guitar solos. We just want to do good parts, make our little, farm our little patch, as it were, keep on with that.
I'm going to quote you on that, Simon. Farm your little patch. I think that's a good metaphor. So I just got off the road with Pentagram a few weeks ago, and there has been talk that they're going to play Melbourne and some other cities in Australia. Any thought to jump on that bill, or are you familiar with Pentagram? Because that's a big jump. I mean, to go from the States to Australia. And rumor has
I mean, look, a lot of bands. I think I don't know what I'm not familiar. I don't know what level they're at in terms of if they're in the big leagues or they're just up and coming. But there's a lot of American bands of certain kind of levels that do come out here.
Well, we don't.
There's always an audience for bands. I think in the 80s we missed out on a hell of a lot of bands because they just seemed to bypass us because the money was in Japan. They'd go there, and we're only like 12-hour flight away, and we'd miss out. Van Halen never came here until 1990, mid-90s. So
interesting.
AC/DC didn't tour from, I think it was the Back in Black tour, and then the next tour was 81, and then the next tour was 88. So they kind of missed us for that long because their audience was in Europe and America at that time.
So how does a band?
We're seeing a lot more now.
And just as a side note, Pentagram is a sizable band. They've been around since the 70s. And Bobby Liebling and the boys have been, well, it's basically a new band with Bobby singing, but that's interesting that still music is still compartmentalized. In touring around the States, I saw bands that I didn't know existed, and yet they're super high quality bands. So even regionally, bands kind of get hidden. I can only imagine if it's a 20-hour plane ride away. So realistically, what would the future hold? I mean, we always joke about it, and you guys are welcome to come here and sleep on the couch. I have no qualms with that whatsoever. But how realistic is it for you to fly here? Because I used to do some. I used to be chums with Belligerent Intent and Squiz Squires and Matt Belligerent and Mark Chaos Massacre and some of those guys, and they would take holiday and come to the States and just book a few shows to play, and then fly back after they were done with holiday. But it wasn't really like a full-blown tour. And after being on tour with a major act, man, it's a lot of work. So what would that hold for, say, Stone Trip? That since you've probably conquered your area, where would that lead you then?
I think a lot of it, look, we'd love to do it. A lot of it will probably come off the back of the next record, where we're at with that. It's our ultimate goal is to get there. But you know, there's availability, there's viability, those things that we've look. We don't mind. We want to go desperately, but we don't want to come back with our tail between our legs. We've got no problem breaking even. That's all good, you know. It'd be an unbelievable experience, you know, to be able to do that. I reckon we'd go all right. But you know, it's got the ducks have got to be in a row a little bit, I think, and we'll know a bit more about it, I think, come when we get the record out and what sort of logistics we can manage as a band to try and get there. Look, if it's about, it's not about money. It's not about that sort of stuff. It's just about making sure that it's an experience that's viable for us all and worthwhile doing, and the band benefits from it with its fan base. But from a personal point, to playing any of those awesome iconic venues over there would be just a dream come true. But you know, hopefully we can get there. We might, you know, a bit of record company support. We're making a lot more money now, so we're getting a bit more money in the kitty, so we can sort of look at it a little bit harder and go, all right, look, we can probably manage this if we can get everybody in the right place at the right time. But it's definitely up there, number one for what we want to do. So,
what's it like? You mentioned that you've got the new single out, Fame, and it had been your biggest impact so far. So talk a little bit about the song, kind of what it's about, because I read a little bit online. I thought it was very interesting. So I'd like to know about that. But also tell me a song that we haven't heard yet on the new album that you're really stoked about.
Okay. Yeah, well, Fame's, it's kind of, look, it's about somebody who wants it all, and I guess when they get it, probably don't want it. It's something we all look for. You know, you don't want for anything that doesn't give you fashion or fame. So, you know, there's a lot of people who go out of their way to find it, and sometimes they find it, sometimes they don't. But it's pretty much standard kind of everything we want to be. Sometimes if we can't, and if we ever got there, maybe we just wouldn't like it. So, you know, but as for some of the new tracks, we went through 3 of them last night. One was Weeping Mary, another one's called The Unmissable, and the other one's called Postcards, that we were rehearsing last night. They're awesome tracks. They're Stone Trip all over. The addition of Simon and Mick together is just phenomenal. Simon's someone you got to see play to believe. So out of those songs, we'll probably our next release will probably be Postcards, which is a track we did. And we've got this other track, which is a little bit left of center for us. It's a song called After the Rain, and it's got a mandolin in it, acoustic guitar in it. It's a bit
Zeppelin, isn't it?
It's pretty Zeppelin influenced, but
yeah,
we love it. We can't wait to get into the studio and sort of pull that apart. We're looking to be more aesthetic on stage as well. So we want to, you know, bring the Mando out, have the acoustics out there, and just really showcase the musicality of the band as a live act and just go to the next level again, you know. So it's all very exciting. The new songs are fantastic. We can't wait to to sit back like we did on the first record on the couch and just listen to it and go, yeah. A lot of that's about the tracking order, you know, where you're going to put the songs. I remember when we released the first record, Mick and I sat here and we put it on and just listened to it, and just the flow of it. We think we got the flow of it right across the tracks. You know, that there's a few people have said there's kind of not a skipper on it, you know, which is great. So if we can do that again and get that sort of continuity through the record where you can't turn it off even if you want to, that's what we're aiming for. Probably 10 tracks, I reckon, on the next album. But yeah, we've got kind of 6 in the bag after we go through this next recording process, and we'll probably do another 4 in a few weeks after that and get it out there, brother.
I'm excited, man. And you're right. There's not a skipper on this thing. Not one.
Or a Gilligan.
We're surprised with the longevity of it, because it just seems to be, it's like a slow burner, that record. It's it just keep growing and growing. We're surprised by the feedback we get from it still. So it's we're pretty stoked that it's been accepted from a musician's point as well. So, you know, we're getting people that I've spoken to, people that I've never even thought that I'd meet, let alone compliment our music. So, you know, a lot of it, I guess, fashion and fame, it's not all about that, is it? Sometimes it's just about your art and getting the appreciation off the people, and, you know, that's priceless.
So I got Beachhead from Florida asking on Facebook, wants to know, because I heard Led Zeppelin comparison. He goes, who else would you guys compare yourselves to?
Oh.
Individually, there's different influences, and Mark's a Rush head. I'm a Rush head, and I introduced him to Max Webster a few months ago. A track with Geddy on it. And,
right on, yeah.
My friend Bob Wegner actually recently wrote a book on Max Webster, and I like those guys. For me, I love UFO and Thin Lizzy, 2 of the greatest bands that should have been huge, but
you'll never get an argument from me on that. I love Thin Lizzy and UFO both.
Yeah.
What is
so I try to put that element in there. The solo in Fame is a little bit of a nod to Michael Schenker, you know, one of my favorite players. And I tried to even use the Flying V in the clip, you know, just to kind of just to put that little kind of point in there. Some people won't get it, but, you know, the older guys will, like me.
Yep.
Yeah.
The way I like to describe you guys is, if you can take Great White for what it is, with the bluesy raw rock and roll, set the 80s glam aside, but add the swagger and the balls of Bad Company, and then just drop in Thin Lizzy, like Thunder and Lightning, Cold Sweat, you know, that to me would give somebody a ballpark idea of what you're going to get with STONETRIP. But everybody that I've turned on to the band, they always say 2 words: oh shit. You know, because I was describing it to somebody today. It's got the classic feel, but the modern production is so good that it doesn't sound the least bit dated, if that makes sense.
Job done.
Yeah.
Well, it's really good hooks which you don't get a lot these days. Really good hooks, really good, just hard rock. You know, and that's what I really dig about the sound.
I sense no algorithm-driven songs. They're all riff. They're riff-driven, and they all have hooks. And I guess that's when I told you at the beginning that I just can't get that thing out of that system in there in that one room. It's because of that. And there is an element of heaviness I mean, and just like UFO and Zeppelin and some of those other bands, there is some bottom end there, and it feels heavier than it may appear at first listen, and that's, I think that's the beauty of it all. But like Rob said, technologically it sounds brilliant, but it doesn't sound overly done. Like it sounds like an analog, like the perfect analog recording. That's the only way I can, because it's warm still. It's not sterile, like as if it were plugged in digitally and then snipped and tucked and glued back together. It sounds like there's a flow there.
Oh, it sounds like
that
Hollywood.
comes from being a live musicians. I think that translates in the studios. I mean, we've all done a lot of gigs in this band and in other projects, and I think that there's no kind of better apprenticeship, and there's no better experience than you can have is playing live. And some live gigs, you know, better than others, and you just have a really shit one and you get up and you go, oh, next time's going to be better, you know. And putting that experience in the recording procedure, I think, is important, you know, that we can make it sound live, like we're in your room thumping it out.
What's it like touring in Australia? Because you know, Perth, Sydney, Melbourne, they're all pretty far apart from each other. It's not like here where a couple hours away you can be in another city. Does it add some difficulty to touring out there?
You know, you can get around pretty quick, so it seems like a long way. It's a big island.
Yeah,
but, you know, you sort of, the Perth side of things, you sort of don't go too near. It's pretty remote out there. There's a beautiful city, but you know, it's more Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane up the other side a little bit. So
yeah,
it's
Adelaide.
Adelaide on the other side a little bit. It's probably, you know, you're talking all of those states are probably, you know, 2,000 Ks, you know, from one end to the other, kind of in between. So a lot of rural stuff out there. So yeah, it's not nothing's easy, but it's you know, it's all just part of what you got to do and the adventure of it all. So it's good. When we toured Tassie, that was challenging. When we did we toured Tassie with Rose Tattoo, and over here to get from Melbourne to Tasmania, we took a boat across Bass Strait. And
what was that like touring with Rose Tattoo?
Man,
it was angry. He was here not too long ago, and he got in like 3 fights while he was here. So
yeah, well, let me tell you, the seas were angry that day, my friend. But yeah, we all ended up coming back with COVID, and oh mate, it was just horrendous. We got stuck there, but the great thing, one of my fondest memories of that tour was we were playing. It was a sort of outdoor, beautiful hotel, and the Tats were set up with their merch tent. We had our little merch table next to it, kind of thing. And the line for Rose Tattoo was like, you know, miles. And there's no one at our table, right? And we're like, oh, gee, I hope we sell a hat, right? And anyway, we came on. And after the first song, because I could see the merch tent sort of in front of me, after the first song, our line just went and we sold out. So that was something that was just such a great thing, you know. So, and it was a testament for us that we knew that if we get this thing right, we can cut it with the best of them around the world. So, you know, and we're just trying to keep that dream alive, and you know, get to where we need to be, I guess, when we're meant to be there.
So when you're out on the road, and gigging, or is it mostly just big city stops here and there, or do you do any rural things like a small farm town or something, or is it just mostly big city venues? Maybe, and I don't even know. I've never been there, so I can't even speak to it. But you know, Pentagram played to a 200 cap room one night and a 2,000 cap room the next, and then a 500 cap room. So. What kind of a venue? I mean, what if you were going to book a summer tour? How many shows could you do? And then would they be big and small, or what would they be like? Is there like a route that bands typically follow over there, or explain that to us?
Well, there's some, like, a lot of rural settings around. So, you got places like Bendigo, Ballarat, Geelong, Warrnambool. They're all sort of, well, apart from Ballarat, they're pretty much sort of coastal towns that you can just travel up and go through from Melbourne, Adelaide, or across the other side through Sydney, Brisbane. There's some border towns like Albury, Wodonga, sort of up on the border of New South Wales and Victoria, that are very RSL clubs. We've got Returned Soldiers Leagues, clubs like Leagues clubs that put on big shows, dinner show, a lot of high-end tribute bands do that sort of stuff. It's for original bands. There's not a real lot in that realm of things. There's the pub that puts on original acts, in Ballarat and stuff like that. But there's certain ones up through Sydney, the Gov, and a few other places that are up there in Adelaide that you can sort of, that's the route that most bands take. But look, there's probably, I don't know, Simon, how many? A dozen?
Yeah. There's, and we've done all of them, probably twice this year.
Yeah.
We did the Cherry Bar in Melbourne. That used to be an AC/DC lane, sadly not anymore. That was a good gig. It's just any parking or driving in the CBD is the nightmare sometimes, but that's a good venue. That's a great venue to play.
I'll tell you what's freaking me out is that the shows that we're doing, the amount of people that are coming now, that the shows are getting bigger. There's more people coming around to shows. But one of the best things, especially as a singer and a writer, is that when we were doing the Cherry, like, it was pretty up and close, in your face kind of thing, and I'm singing away me tunes, and I look out to the crowd, and they're singing my song. They know the words, man, and I'm like, wow, that's just, again, fashion fame. It's not all about the money, dude. Shit like that's priceless. If that's the ultimate prize in that sense. Where, like, I still scratch my head and go, how do you know the words?
Yeah, they bought the record, mate.
Yeah.
That's how they know the words. They bought the record.
You guys,
Nick B checking in from Melbourne, Australia, by the way. What's up, Nick?
You guys were an easy sell for me when I received the MP3 in my email box years ago. It just made sense, and it was the song Sideways, still in polished demo form. And obviously it's easy to get to someone like me and the 128 dB guys, because it's easy for us to just throw it in the mix and play it on the app in heavy rotation. What kind of support are you seeing from other parts of the world? Are you seeing it outside of Australia? Are you seeing an uptick in the US, or kind of what does that look like?
Australia and Texas, by the way.
Do you have any grasp?
UK's looking good, apparently. The latest single has done, you get on heavy rotation in the UK. I'm not sure what stations, but people seem to like that song over there.
Yeah. New Zealand, Sweden, where else? Elements of the States, but Germany, probably, like Simon said, the UK and the States are probably the biggest amount of support we're getting there. So it's it keeps they keep ticking over. So it's we just so want to get the second record out to give you all something new to get your ears around, and be excited as much as we are about sort of getting it to you. So yeah, it's exciting times, guys. It's good.
I think we need to not bother with the second one and just go straight to the third one. That's when you make them.
Put that one out as a bonus disc.
Yeah.
Put out a bonus disc for an album that didn't exist.
Didn't ever exist.
Richie is asking what changes have happened in the band since we last saw you on the show. Richie, I don't see where you're from. Sorry, but This is Facebook people checking in. So
Yeah,
lovely.
right. Look, a couple of lineup changes, Richie boy. That's about it. All for the better. Like Simon touched on it a bit earlier, we just had to get the nucleus right in the band to be able to produce the tunes off the record the way they sound on the record. So there's been a couple of lineup changes. We changed the drummer, but that was due to illness as well. Con, who was an original member in the band, who got crook and still battling the beast a little bit. So he stepped aside for Brett Spicer, who plays with us now, who's just an animal. He just hits, he scares me how hard he hits that snare drum. And
He always turns up with a different kit to each rehearsal, and they're all wonderful. It's like he's destroying them, you know.
Yeah, I think he's got too much money. But
I was going to ask you how he was doing. I knew he was battling something, but I hadn't heard for a while. How's he doing?
He's okay. He's okay. We're still in touch with Con. He's still part of the STONETRIP family. You know, he's going okay. He's up and about. I think he's doing a little bit of part-time work now as well. So he's sort of getting back on his feet. But you know,
good.
The battle
That's
continues
good to hear.
a little bit. Yeah. And so look, Simon, when we look, I was scared to ask Simon to join a band. Like, I've known Simon a long time, but I like he said, we stayed in touch. But when the time came, me and Mick just kept saying, because we both know of Simon, and I'm like, man, Simon's the guy. Simon's the guy. We've got to get Simon. Man, we've got to get Simon. So, and we were like, well, should we ask him? Well, I don't know. Maybe you just don't want to be a dickhead. You know? Anyway, so we asked him, and he said yes, the idiot.
I called this. I don't know if I've kind of. I called this guitar spot in the band the revolving door one, because I'm the third one. You know, I just say that to people for a laugh.
Maybe the third one's the charm. So
yeah, he's the one.
There you go.
Just waiting for that stage.
Third one's the charm.
No, that's it.
Yeah,
as long as you don't spontaneously combust on stage, you're good.
Oh, well, you know, people talk about it at least, don't they?
Well, look, Simon's musical knowledge is phenomenal without blowing too much up his bum, but he probably wouldn't tell you, but he's done some pretty amazing things guitar-wise. He like you mentioned before, he toured worldwide with the Queen We Will Rock You show, which was a Ben Elton production. Simon was actually hand-picked by Brian May for that part. So, you know, you don't sort of get to that level and that status unless you kind of know what you're doing. So we're absolutely blessed to have his knowledge and his guitar skills as part of STONETRIP, and it's just you wait for the next album, man.
I'm ready.
I'm hoping the next album sees vinyl release.
The third album.
Well,
the third album will.
That'd be nice. Yeah. Hey, can I ask a quick question just on vinyl release?
Absolutely.
What's a vinyl record cost over there, retail, ballpark?
But a brand new album, it's between like, I don't know, $25 and $35 depending on the release. US.
Yeah, right. US.
That's
the retail cost. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're about $50 here because our dollar's crap compared to yours. So
Yes.
Okay,
I was just curious. That's all of the kind of difference, because it's you know, the vinyl. I don't know. It's frustrating, man. Look, it's one of the biggest commodities on the planet, right? Like kids are collecting it flat out. But I think the difference is the kids don't open the record, man. You know,
they just look at it and display it. You know.
Yeah. So. Like,
and then they download it and listen to it on their phone.
Yeah.
If
they
buy it, who cares what they do with it? You know.
As long as they buy it, exactly.
Into that.
There's some albums you can only get by download. I mean, the latest album I bought was the Dan Huff solo album, and man, that's a good album. Probably
Dan
not
Huff
metal. You're all familiar with Giant back in the day.
Giant, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a great record from Bandcamp, I think. But that's if I want to listen to music instantly, it's iTunes or something like that. But I'd prefer a CD or a record, though.
That's
Yep,
a nice
same
thing about
here.
Bandcamp. You can do all 3 of them through Bandcamp.
And the bands actually get paid.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I know, shocking, right?
Say that again?
Yeah.
What is this?
Our friend from Havoc said that it takes 30,000 streams on Spotify to make what they make on one T-shirt sale.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I got paid
Yeah.
once singing in the band. I bought me a hamburger.
Yeah, well, I
Good.
have the conversation sometimes, right? That like I'm not sure how many streams we've had on Spotify. I know it's up. I think it's probably 300,000-400,000 odd more, maybe. I don't know, but you know, I often have the conversation that, man, if I had sold 300,000-400,000 singles from the record shop back in the day, mate, phew,
You'd be
know,
touring the
just-
States.
yeah, yeah, I'll be giving away T-shirts.
Yep.
So
I'd be in
about
line
when
to
can
get
we?
one.
Do you guys have any idea about when the full length will be out?
I reckon we'll probably get it somewhere near it, end of September, if it all goes to plan, which it is, and hopefully get all our assets into the record company and hopefully get it out. I'd like it to be sort of October, mid-October, I reckon, realistically.
William
Trying to think of a
Rivera
name
says,
for
"I'm
it.
looking for your CD now. I'm looking for your CD now to buy it. Where can I buy it at?"
Well, you can email us, or you can contact us through our Facebook page. If that's probably the best way to do it, we can directly send it out to you. Not a problem. That's probably the best way to do it.
Golden Robot are usually pretty responsive.
Yeah, or you can then go via Golden Robot. They can help you out with it as well. Yeah. Either way.
We'll put a link up to William. We'll put a link if you're watching. We'll put a link up to their Facebook page. You can find them.
Yeah.
And I put a link to the Fame video in the comments as well.
Yeah. Look. I'll tell you something about that clip, right? When we did it, we look. Let's say we've learned a lot from how much we've had to pay out other people to help produce our product visually. We did that clip at a rehearsal space called Bakehouse out in Collingwood in Melbourne, which is just a beautiful, beautiful rehearsal room. They've got all different rooms with different aesthetics in it. So the backdrop for that looked fantastic. We added no light to it. We did nothing. We filmed it on my phone that I'm talking to you on now, an iPhone 15. We paid $160 for the room, for the rehearsal for the night to film it in there. We got a friend of ours, Alex Ryjak from Electric Mary, to edit it for us. And that clip came in under $1,000.
Nice.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
Unreal, eh? Yeah. So there's things you learn, like even with our merch now, we've got our costs down from roughly, I think it was $12.50 Australian to have one made for us, down to like, $4 or $5 because we've, bought the equipment and we're doing it ourselves. So they're things you got to do. And all that money that we do make off it just goes straight back into the studio to, pay for a great next album.
Record.
Yeah. And on it
And for
goes,
the third record.
Yeah.
Straight to the third.
Straight to the third one.
I just found your Facebook and sent it directly to him, so he's got it. So
Oh,
hopefully
beautiful.
hopefully you'll be getting an order from William Rivera soon.
Yeah, thank you, William Rivera. Awesome, buddy.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
I know you
Hey,
guys
is-
are wanting to keep it to around 45 minutes, but I do have one thing that I would like to do. If you live in the United States of America and you are watching right now, and you are the first person to email me at iammetalrob@gmail.com. iammetalrob@gmail.com.
Doing that now.
USA only. I will send you.
Oh,
I will
Is
send
that-
you one of the original EPs on CD for free, but it'll cost me $87 to mail it across the world. So sorry.
It has to be United States. Okay.
I love you, but yeah, this is this is part of the care package that Kim sent me most recently, and there was a there's a T-shirt and a record bag and some CDs and some different things, and we don't have much left. In fact, I think there's this and one record. So yeah, I thought I'd give it away on the show while you guys are here.
Awesome. Thank you very
Done
much.
to a good cause.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and my email just went off.
Cool.
Got to help pay for that third record.
Was it William Rivera?
No.
He's the grand prize winner. He's winning everything today.
Oh, and this is great. This is awesome. But man, Run Free. Because you get these songs. Were they re-recorded, Rich?
Yeah, they were on the album too.
They were remastered, yeah.
Oh,
But,
okay, okay.
Yeah,
But
for the record.
you get all 5 of these songs on the new album plus more.
Yeah.
So,
Run Free's great. Run Free's one of our favourite songs to play live.
I like that. What's the last song on there, Rob? That was my favorite song off the EP.
Wild Hearted Son.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah,
I still play that
picture.
one on the show a lot.
Yeah, that goes off live too. We finish with that song a lot of the time.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks
No
for
worries.
having
Yeah.
us.
Pleasure.
Much appreciated. Yep. Right on.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the end for this one. So y'all know how we end these, right? Anybody got anything else they want to add before we go?
Let me know when you need another T-shirt design. I'm happy to do one. You guys are awesome. I get a lot of mileage on that drawing, and there's a lot of nuances that people don't know about. Like she's looking sideways, and there's an S on her on the chest of her uniform, and there's all sorts of fun stuff in there. So, but I'd love to do another one. So let me hit me up and let me know what I can do.
Yeah, well, use your imagination. Go for it.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
thanks for playing such great stuff too, guys. The metal show.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, we can't thank
Metal
you enough.
round table.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
well,
gosh, yeah.
Just can't
Rob
thank
plays
you
your
enough.
song on. Rob, plug.
The Metal Rob Show, Monday through Friday from 3 to 4 p.m., 128db.com, the free 128db Rock app, anywhere that you get apps, and we have Stone Trip in heavy rotation throughout the day.
Awesome.
Right on.
Fantastic.
And where can everybody find you at, Stevie?
You can find me at Harmless Rebel on YouTube and Harmless_Rebel on Instagram.
And John, you can find
You
him
can
where?
find me on Instagram at Carcass John Art, or on 128 DB Rock on the Crypt or the Alter Ego. And I might actually be able to play a Stone Trip song on the Alter Ego, because that's what it is. It's my alter ego. It's not all heavy gurgling and gargling.
The CD has been claimed.
Right on.
Awesome.
You can find me on Instagram at No Life to Metal. You can find me on YouTube under Scott Waters and No Life to Metal. And you can find Stone Trip on Facebook. And you guys have a Bandcamp page too?
No.
No.
Look,
Okay.
we should look at that.
You should
Yeah,
look
you
at
should.
that.
You should
Yeah.
look at that. That's a big one. But yeah, you can find those guys on. And I'll try and remember to post the link under the videos on YouTube, so you guys can find them on Facebook in case you're interested in buying anything, T-shirts, CDs, whatever. They need to buy a hamburger too. So they're all hungry. Look at them.
Look, get this.
There you go.
That is
That's off its
beautiful,
head,
man.
dude.
That's a Carcass original right there.
That is
Yeah,
a
it is.
Carcass original, and I had such a great time drawing it too. Because I was jamming out to the EP when I was kind of sketching that thing out. So anyway,
Yeah, right.
thanks for the opportunity. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Right on. So for episode number 271, you guys know how we do it. Nothing's changed. Ready? Metal. Will.
Prevail.
And then, as usual, I leave you all hanging so you can look silly and
Of
that
course
Stone
you do.
Trip, are you kidding me? That would rule.